What's up everyone, this is Sam from 64 Wheels, back in more diecast, and for today's throwback video, we're going to be looking at the early 2000s Tonka line from Maisto. So if you're not familiar with this line, this is a line of mini Tonka branded trucks that were released by Maisto brand diecast from like 1999 to 2004-ish maybe. I don't really know how long the line went on, but we have representatives of line 1, 2, and 3 to go over. So this is a really cool line, not only because they have awesome Tonka branded regular cars like this Silverado, but all of the ones you see here are actually just scaled down versions of regular Tonka trucks. So the one most people are familiar with, the Mighty Dump, they have made this forever. They still make it today in the full size, like you can take it out in the sandbox and play with it, but this is like a 1/64 scale-ish version of the Mighty Dump truck, which how cool is that? It's just a mini Tonka truck. So I really like these. When these first came out, I bought this one because I just love that Tonka paint job in that Silverado. It was a more stock version. It was just like basically that truck in that paint scheme, but that paint scheme is so cool. It's definitely worth picking up if you see it out, just based on the coolness alone. So collector wise, I don't know how collectible these are. As you can see here, there's representatives of a couple different of the series. Here we have the larger carded series 1 of 50 vehicles. Then we have some of series 2, which also was out of 50 vehicles. And then for series 3, here they had 55 vehicles. So I don't know if there was a series 4. This goes from 1999 down here. These are 2000, I believe. And then series 3 is 2002. So the build date or the copyright date on the back is not always the date that they actually came out. Usually it's like the year before because they're getting all the licenses. So maybe this is 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2003. I don't know. It's so hard to find information on these because they're not super collectible, but they're really, really cool. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the first one. This is the Mighty Dump. So this is the classic dump truck, as I was saying before. It's got a metal dump bed. I think that looks like a metal cab right there with some little Tonka stickers on it, but it looks very, very much like the full size one. So when we turn it over, we can see that all 50 vehicles are here on the back. And I personally love checklists on the back of cards like this because then I know what's coming out, especially pre-internet when you couldn't go on a leak site or Instagram or anything like that. Like, this is really the only way you knew what was coming out, what to look for, and if you're missing any from your collection. So if you want to pause it and take a look at that, you can see there's quite a few castings on there. One of the things that was with this line, like you can tell some of these were real, just like this bulldozer, dump truck, whatever. Other ones were just uses of the Maisto castings that existed, and then they put like Tonka liveries on them. One would be like the Dodge Dakota. I see a Super Duty Ford, a Ford Explorer, so Daimler tour bus. Those were castings Maisto had at the time that they included in this Tonka line. So same thing with number 2, series 2 here. They actually had a little bit smaller cars. They got recolored. Oh my gosh, I like these that they actually stand up, but they keep knocking them over. So we'll look at the second series of this. There you can see there are quite a few different vehicles on this one, and then there are more like licensed castings. So you have the Pterodyne, that is a concept car. You have a Jeepster, which is another concept car. You have a Durango. You have the Boss Mustang, the Hemi Cuda. So they included a lot of different cars in this line, which is cool. It would have been awesome if they took all like 50 vehicles and they were like old school real Tonka trucks. Would have been wild. But there you can see a Monte Carlo stock car, school bus, utility van, Chevy Express van. So there are actually a lot of good castings in this line. They were just Maisto castings rebranded, as I was saying. So let's go ahead and open these up because I'm really looking forward to this. So I do not have anywhere near the 50 vehicles. I only have a couple of these, but I thought it would be cool to do them all together. So let's go ahead and look at this Mighty Dump. Really looking forward to this. Okay, so these were priced in between Hot Wheels and like a Johnny Lightning, like a premium. They were like $2 or $3. They weren't exactly Hot Wheels price. They were a little bit more, and that's because some of these were double licensed. Like you had a Chevy license and then you had the Tonka license on top of it from Maisto. But this looks pretty cool. I mean, this is really identical to the bigger truck. It's got all the same detailing. It's even got the indentions in the bed. Let's see. Oh, and it actually dumps. How cool is that? So you do have a plastic chassis. It's a two-piece chassis. You can see here, this centerpiece is actually screwed in with some of the middle piece riveted in. So it's interesting that they did a screw base. The tires also say Tonka. They have that same Tonka like branding, tire branding on them. The wheels look identical. They even have that same squeak as the full-size one, because if you've ever rolled a real life, like a bigger Tonka truck fast, it's just like squeak, squeak, squeak. Usually it's because people have ran them through sand, mud, water, and they just get a little bit of rust. But these kind of have that just because they're bigger size axles. So this looks really good. So that is a sticker on there, and it says Tonka Mighty 768. That is a tampo, which is kind of cool. It's pretty clear. This is just a cool truck. There's not a ton of detail, but it's awesome to have a mini-sized Tonka truck in your like Hot Wheel collection. Like, that is awesome. And that actually looks pretty good for a dump truck. Like, even if you have an Action Driver's Town or an old Hot Wheels or even a Maisto or a Brago or whatever town that you could play with, even like off-branded stuff, this would look pretty good in that. I'm pretty impressed with this overall. It's got good weight, a moving part. What more is there to want? Tonka. Love that. Okay, so we'll kind of go in order and do the number 2. Then we'll open up the number 3. So this is the bulldozer. This one, I tried to do some digging online before this video, and this looks very similar to some of the ones from probably the 60s or 70s. I'll try to put screenshots on each of these so you know the actual like real life cars. Or the full scale ones in Tonka scale. But this is pretty cool. This reminds me of a couple of Matchbox bulldozers that were made. So I think, let's see if this is a moving part. So this is not a moving part. This is a stationary bulldozer, like the bucket part. Let's see, do these roll? So the tracks actually roll, which is pretty cool. I always think that's nice, especially on vehicles like this and tanks that actually have tank tracks. But look, there's actually an axle there too. So if you wanted to spin them together, it's probably how the actual wheel rolls. So these are 25 years old, and the rubber is held up surprisingly well. There you can see right there, Tonka 2000 Hasbro. So that's kind of cool that these are Hasbros. But these tank tracks look pretty good for how old they are, because some of my other cars, even from Hot Wheels from the 90s, like we talked about those Bigfoots in another throwback video, they have cracks in some of the rubber. They do have 10 years on these age-wise, but these are holding up pretty well. So there's a little bit of bashing right there in the casting, like it didn't get fully cast, but it does have a nice hook on it that you can tow stuff with, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's a heavy-duty metal tower there. But this looks pretty cool. So there's no, other than the moving, like the tank tracks, there's no moving parts on it, but it displays very well. If you have an older city or just like older vehicles, this looks pretty cool. Tonka Dozer, and those are tampos too, so those aren't stickers or anything like the other one, but it actually rolls. Not super great, but it rolls. The tank tracks work, which is always cool. Okay, let's open up the actual bulldozer. So this one, I was able to find a bunch of pictures of this one online. They've made it looked like they made an old one and a new one, which is kind of cool because both this and the dump truck, you can literally go into like Walmart or Target or order them online like full size. So that's pretty cool. So this one actually has got a lot of detail. Tonka, does this move? No, this is actually built into the axle. Look at that. So that says 1998 Hasbro Maisto. I didn't realize, so that must be like Hasbro must have been who owned Tonka at the time. So that must have been the Tonka licensing on it. But there are another row of tank tracks. That is cool that it has the axle going across, so you can do one at a time because the wheels are actually turning through the axles. So you don't technically, you can spin them individually if you want, but that's kind of a cool design. So those are tampos, all tampos on this one. I wish this had a moving part because it looks like it has a moving part, but I guess the structural integrity, if this was to move, you would probably break it off easier, but this is pretty sturdy. It's a very hard plastic, but I like the detailing on this. This one's really light, like there's not a ton of metal, just the metal is the yellow you see here, which is, is a bulk of the body, it's just not very big. But I do like the cage on it, it's got a nice detailing. It looks exactly like a Tonka bulldozer, just shrunk. That's so cool. This one rolls a little better than the other one. Very cool. Okay, so let's open up the dump truck next. So this has special 55th anniversary branding on it, which is also kind of cool. And I like that they switched it to the actual truck rather than the Silverado on this one, because it gives it more of an old-timey feel, I feel like the classic packaging. So it looks like this is exactly the same. Even the stickers are the same, except they're color matched for the green. And I don't know, again, I will screenshot or put a screenshot or a picture of this truck if they did release it in green. I don't know if I've ever seen it in green in full size, but it looks awesome in the mini scale here in green. I really like that. So again, I think let's take a look at the stickers and see if they're exactly the same. So yeah, they look exactly the same. Same branding, same coloration, it's just colored differently for the body. Same wheels, same tires, everything looks pretty similar. Same tampos on the bed. Let's see and make sure it's still got that moving part, which it does. That's very cool. Got the Tonka on the top still. Again, just a very cool little version of a big scale truck. So let's see if this one squeaks too. Ooh, it's got that squeak to it. Squeaky squeak. They can definitely hear you coming at the construction site with these. But man, those look pretty sick. I like that. The green is very cool. Let me know in the comments, what do you like? Do you like the green color better, or do you like the classic yellow dump truck better? Let me know in the comments. It's a tough one for me. I really like how cool the green is, but it's hard to beat that classic yellow. So lastly, we have the mighty backhoe. So when I looked this one up, it looked like the original version, or even like a remake of it, was going for some pretty good money. And that's probably because this one is a little bit bigger. It's got more moving parts. It was probably easier to get lost or damaged back in the day. But this is pretty cool. I mean, this is huge. So it looks like we have a pin for a movement point right there. Oh, look at that. You can move the little bucket right there. Oh, this swivels around too. Very cool. Double moving part is always awesome. So this part right here is static. It doesn't move, but this little bucket is here. So you would have to basically use your bulldozer and your dump truck to build up a hill, and then you could scoop this, because this doesn't quite touch the ground, if you can see that. Let me use the back of the card here. So that's about as low as it can go right there. So we're still, we're probably, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch off the ground from actually scooping it, but I don't mind it. It's got double moving parts. I really like that that moves around. Very nice. Put that back out front here. The truck itself is cool too. It looks very similar to the dump truck, but it is, it's not. It just has the same type of like cab right there, and this one is plastic, where this one is metal and built into it. So you can see where the design elements for the cab came in. It just looks like they switched out the grill piece and then changed this from plastic to metal. But you can see an exhaust, the little engine part or whatever that is, the air filter right there, a little bit different, but you can definitely see the design elements are the same. So mighty, is that the same right there? Let's see. It is. Same sticker. Look at that. So you got a lot of similarities on that one. Let's see. Yeah, but you do have some difference in the chassis. Like this one, it looks like it has a gas tank. That one has a little bit of steps. Let's see on this side. Yeah, and then the gas tank again, and then there's more steps on that one. So it's definitely more walk-up friendly over here. But this looks pretty cool. Got a lot of nice detail. It's got this one, again, these are, like, these I feel have good weight to them. This one has decent weight to it. This is metal up here, and this is all metal down here. But I like that. I like that moving part right there. Very nice. I might actually have to get a few more of these. I'd like to collect the ones that were actual Tonka trucks, like the full-size ones, and then kind of have like a mini collection of those, because I already got 5. It's not a bad start. So let me know what you think of these in the comments. I like these. Which one was your favorite? Is this something you collect or would collect now as like a throwback release, since they're, what, 25 years old now? Have you ever seen these out in the wild when you're hunting at like garage sales or thrift shops or toy shows or anything like that? Is this something you're interested in? Because I like this kind of stuff. I think the fact that they took it and shrunk it down to like mini scale is pretty cool, because I do like some of those world's smallest toys as well. But these are pretty cool. So yeah, let me know which one of these is your favorite in the comments. Let me know if you like the green or the yellow better, if you've seen them anywhere, and if this is something that you would like to collect in the future if you're not already collecting. So I really appreciate you watching. This is Sam, 64 Wheels. Like and subscribe as always. I still have so much more to do. It's a very busy time of year. I'm busy with family stuff, with work stuff, extracurricular activities are keeping me pretty busy, but I'm going to try to keep uploading like crazy until Christmas at least, or the new year, so I can just blast through stuff. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Squeak, 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 squeak.